2, 1. You sense you've gone through the door now?
Yes.
Are you inside or outside?
I'm outside.
Can you tell where you're outside of?
I'm just on a hill. It's very cold.
And what can you see from the hill?
I can see a river. There's some woods on the other side of the river.
Do you know what your name is?
Theo, something.
Fee or C? Okay. And are you aware of having any family at all? Who's your family?
I have children.
How many children do you have?
Oh, quite a few. They're in the woods. Maybe 5, 6. Yeah.
Who's the father of the children?
He's a warrior. He's a good man. Oh, he's lovely.
And do you know what his name is?
The name I call him, I don't think is his real name though.
Do you know what you call him?
Tom.
Whereabouts are you?
Some really bad people have come to our village home.
And where are these people from, do you know?
I don't know. No, they came in the night. And they killed some people and burnt some houses and...
Did they kill anyone you knew?
People in the village.
What's happening now?
Been killed.
Who's been killed?
My husband's been killed. Blood. The body came back. He came back with lots of them. Lots of them killed.
Where had he been wounded?
Around here. Maybe here, around the back. Somewhere around here.
And how did you feel?
Sad.
And what did that make you feel about life and...
Lost. Alone.
What were your feelings for him?
He's my best friend. My lover. My life.
Go to the last day of that lifetime.
I'd like to be back with my husband again. That would be nice. I feel he's waiting for me. I feel maybe he'll come to collect me. I'm waiting for him. I can see him, yeah. I can see him coming to collect me. It's time. It's time to go.
Wow. Well, Fiona and Neil are here now with our regression therapist, Andrea Foulkes. So welcome all three. How did you feel watching that?
Wow.
It's the first time you've seen it. You haven't seen it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, amazing.
Okay.
It's quite strange because I think for 40 years of my life I would have said past lives, poo-poo, cuckoo, and I wouldn't have believed it. But in the once we knew we were going to do it, for 2 or 3 days before we actually did it, I kind of persuaded myself that technically it could be possible. But I must say, having done it, even having watched that, I feel I'm back to being a skeptic again. Because it's true that when you relax, you see things. What we said and what we felt is genuine. Like when you dream, a dream is genuine. You really do dream. But is a dream reality? Is it real?
I think it's when you go in...
That's where I have a
once you go into the
conflict
altered state of consciousness, it's like you're a radio, but you're never going to, you know, connect with those frequencies until you tune into them. And what I do is give you an ability to relax and allow the subconscious mind to tune into other parts of your energy field. And in those energy fields is stored cell memory, and cell memory...
Well, what I'm not sure about is because what we saw in reality trees, we live in a wood in essence, we live in the Surrey Hills. We saw children, we've got 4 children. I was actually in the Marines and I was medically discharged with a bad back. So the fact that when I'm relaxed I talk about, my life was devastated. Actually, imagine being an officer in the Marines and then being medically discharged. My life was devastated with my back problem.
Well,
Subsequently went on to design a back stretcher and we put our lives in order after that point. But
Let's go back to the moment that you met 15 years ago, because this was the reason that we've got you together to do this experiment. And then in a minute we'll also ask you how can we possibly believe you probably colluded in the tape. Anyway, so 15 years ago you meet in a gym because of your bad back. Yes. You, Fiona, feel that you have met Neil before. You feel immediately, I know this man, there's a recognition here.
Yes, I mean, if I look back on the whole picture of it, when we first met, there was a strong connection and there was a real familiarity, and whether that is love, whether everybody who falls in love feels that way. Obviously, this is my experience of our relationship, and yes, we were both struggling, and when I look back on this tape, that, you know, my past life was about us, you know, possibly struggling. We were a family, just a normal family. I wasn't anything grand or anything, but we had the children, and in some ways this lifetime now is actually a replica of that lifetime.
Well,
so
this is the thing, because you meet, you both feel the same way. Neil, you're an ice cube, you don't let her know. Suddenly you go off to Germany, Fiona phones you. You phone Fiona, although you were desperate to ring her. And she says, I'm missing you, and you came straight home.
But that's true.
And then the relationship started.
I think how we feel about our relationship is genuine, but I don't feel necessarily that's any different to anyone else falling in love. It's this jump between saying we have those intuitive feelings. Fiona and I can walk through a wood and we can say to each other, God, don't you get the feeling we've been here before? Or we'll finish each other's sentences.
But you saw, didn't you see a face? He was getting out the car and suddenly his face changed and there was someone else with finer features and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that initiated from a friend of mine who is Sharon Mays, who's written a book on how to be a supernatural lover, and she had actually said to me at the time, I want you to do some exercise. I'm writing this book and I'd like you to do some exercises for me, and this is one thing I'd like you to have a look at, focusing on your partner, Neil, because, you know, we've often talked about being soulmates and being very close. And so I had been working, you know, we've been doing these exercises, and yes, there was this, when we focused on each other, yes, it was as if the face had changed.
There were certainly some points in that tape that we saw that did appear to correlate between your two lives then. So let's just have a look at those points now that work together.
Fee.
Fee.
Do you know what your name is?
Theo.
And what's your name?
Tom.
Do you know what you call him?
Tom.
How many children do you have?
5 children.
How many children do you have?
Oh, quite a few. Maybe 5, 6.
Death.
Whose death?
Mine.
Yours.
Blow.
A blow to where?
To the back.
What's happening there?
Been killed.
Who's been killed?
My husband's been killed.
So, I mean, there are certainly similarities there, aren't there? But, as we were saying, there is a possibility. You've said in the past, we're walking through these forests, this is lovely, we could have been here before, but...
We are actually married, so and we're in love, and our relationship's very strong, and in some respects it's very new agey in that sense. We're often surprised other people we just tell our story, how we met, and people are fascinated by it.
Did you have a chance to discuss, when you were regressed, did you have a chance to tell Fiona what you did?
The question
and
is...
then, you know, no,
for example,
did you collude? Did you make it up?
The name Tom, we've got 4 girls, so we've used up all the girls' names you could possibly imagine.
Have you talked
if we were to have a son,
would you call him
sure, over the years we probably would have called him
the fact
Tom.
that he might have been called Tom?
Yes, yes.
So Tom's one of our top names, so that doesn't surprise me. Fiona's name's Fiona. I actually only ever call her Fiona, but she's got friends and relatives call her Fee. So there are elements, so that's where I'm struggling with the credibility
of the unravelling in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know whether you would go back to the same life or not. I really didn't know, because most of the time when we do regression, we're looking to heal or understand ailments, fears, phobias. With this, it was just to see, was this love from a past life? They've both had deja vu, Fiona more so, of feelings that she's known Neil before in a past life. And if it is there and you have known each other from a past life, and it's not just Neil or Fiona, any of us, why do we meet certain people? Why are we drawn together? We're drawn together because there's some, as you see in that life, unfinished business, unfinished love. They needed to complete that, and that's
it's
I
interesting
felt
because
that I'd been married to Phil before.
Yeah, and
he was the wife and I was the husband.
Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist in Virginia, spent 40 years studying this very thing, says 1 in 500 children in India report memories of past lives. Scientists have worked out the average lifetime, apparently between death and rebirth, he says, is 500 years. So it's, you know,
the memories are real, and when you relax, the visions are real. What we saw and how we is genuine. How you interpret that, the big leap is, therefore it must be a past life. That's too big for me.
It's all about love, though, isn't it? It's all about us all finding the person we're meant to be with and finishing the completion.
But we had
of
a
that
problem
love,
with spines or backs in a previous life, and we now...
No, it's fascinating. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See you again soon. We'll do a bit more. And now, of course, after Christmas, everybody's skint. So if you're feeling that the past life of last year is piling up around you, you might want to start 2005 with a clean slate. Our competition could be just what you need.